Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So today is a video that's going to be a little different than what you see on my channel. From time to time, I give you guys updates on health-related things. I have a rare disease called dercumsdisease and lipedema. Those two diseases spur on other things. So there's a long list that I won't go into, but I have a lot of different little things that has kind of went awry in my body. And I was in a wheelchair for 4.5 years, and I had stem cells done, and I had a stem cell treatment done, and it did give me the strength back in my legs, and I have been walking without a wheelchair for over 3 years now. And stem cells typically last about 3 years, and so I'm over that little milestone, so I'm very, very grateful for that. But the one thing I do is let you guys know if there's something that I'm doing that is helping. And because not only does this help somebody that may have a rare disease like what I have, but this would help anybody that struggles with chronic pain. And I think that a discussion needs to be made about how the body responds to trauma over long periods of time and how that trauma is stored in the body. I don't think that doctors really know a whole lot when it comes to pain. I know that there is diagnoses out there where people are like, is this what I have? I don't know. And I think that a lot of times labels are just slapped on there if they just don't know what exactly is causing the pain. But sometimes we have to look outside of the physician's box because not always physicians know everything. And this is what I've learned through my own experience with dealing with a rare disease. Taught me that doctors don't know a whole lot whenever it goes outside of their scope of what they've learned in medical school. And a lot of them don't go back and try to update and learn more new things that come out with new studies. They may read an article or get some information here, but they don't go back and get extra education on things that are rare that may not have been studied the first time around. So a lot of times people with rare diseases, they have to be their own advocate, and they have to do the research themselves, and they have to educate themselves to be able to go and get the help that they need from whatever physician that they're seeing. Not only do they need to know what they're doing whenever they go to meet up with their regular physician that sees them all the time, but they're going to have to be able to educate anybody that they come in contact with in the medical field every single time, whether that be a specialist, the ER, or anything that you have to go see a doctor for that they may have never heard of what you have. I'm going into this because sometimes we have to think outside of the box. And this is something that I tried, that I've tried a whole lot out there, a whole lot. And I would say 90% of it doesn't work. Diets and all these different things that are supposed to help with pain here, pain there, or this, that, and the other, it has not helped one bit over the years and years and years. Dercumsdisease is in the top 3 of the most painful diseases of the world. It has tumors and fibrotic tissue that clump the tumors up together, and it kind of binds it all together. Well, that causes extreme pain. It causes my body to never feel anything but pain. The best way to describe it is I have bad days and worse days. Like there is no good days, but I push through the bad days, and on the worst days I have to rest. You learn how to adapt your life around your disability. So I know a lot of you guys out there may not have dercumsdisease and lipedema, but you guys deal with some pretty painful diseases or syndromes or whatever it may be that is debilitating in your life. And so I want to explain what treatments I've been having here lately. They are not a fun treatment. They're a very painful treatment, but I'm seeing such a huge difference that I'm ready to come on here and let you guys know that it is making a huge difference. I'm going to read right off of this article that explains it the best because it is very difficult to explain. But it's called myofascial release. And what they do is it kind of goes off of intuition. It's kind of like on the hokey part where you're like, I don't know. But all I do know is it works. That's all I do know. I'm not real big on a whole lot of new age stuff, but this works. So this is something that I highly recommend if you deal with pain on a regular basis to go get checked out. And it's more than just treating the physical part of the body. I'll try to explain what I can, what I have gained the most knowledge out of, that I've been able to retain, and then I'll read what they say about it. But lifelong trauma, doctors know that has some way of affecting the body with pain in some form or fashion, but they don't know how to connect the two. So a lot of times if you go to the doctor and you have a lot of pain and they know that you've had some things that you've went through, like you may have like PTSD and some other things that go along with that, and they know that you have a history with trauma. What they say is you need to go see a counselor and work out some of those things. Try not to be so stressed. And you look at them like, what world do you live in? You think I go around here going, yeah, I love being stressed. Let me pile on some more of that stress. No, we don't do that. Okay, so if we could just let the stress go, we would have done that a long time ago. You know, it's not like we're just holding on to it because we love to feel that way. So that's just a ridiculous statement. What they haven't figured out in medical school is how does pain directly coincide with trauma and stress and all these different things that build in the body. Well, that's where there's a part of the body that has not been studied, and that's the fascia. The fascia lays underneath the skin, but above the muscle and the adipose tissue. So it's right in between there. And when the fascia has been triggered with trauma, fight or flight, or freeze or fawn, okay, those things that happen to us whenever we've been in an accident, if we've been through trauma, if we've been through abuse, and those things don't go away so easily. Some people have problems with their knees after an accident and they can't ever figure out what caused that pain. Well, that fascia can do the same thing as kind of what they've told me my fibrotic tissue does with the tumors. But the fascia, it binds up super tight. And then over time, if that fascia doesn't release, it starts to encapsulate and it doesn't allow any fluid or nutrients in that area, which they have also found out that is cancer causing. You have to have those nutrients and that fluid flowing to those areas. This doing underneath your skin is going to cause a tightness all the time in your body. And that's how my body was. It never loosened up. It never felt like flesh. It was one solid hard rock all the time. It didn't feel like flesh. You couldn't push it in. And what that was doing is that fascia was built up in there. And then I have all those tumors and everything back behind it, right? And so what it would do is it would push those masses of tumors up into the nerves and all the vascular system and the lymphatic system, and it was causing all this ruckus in there, and it was causing so much pain with every movement of every day, anytime I was moving, whether I was awake or whether I was asleep, pain all the time. When I started finding out about this fascia, it's kind of like a protective barrier where the doctors have not talked about or discussed is that when you have the fight or flight or fawn or freeze triggered multiple times, it's like the brain stays stuck in that mode. That's where a lot of times we have somebody that's been through lots of trauma and stuff like that. There's different things that are going on within the body and the brain that is connected, that you're stuck in that fight or flight or fawn or freeze because your brain is not functioning in the same way that it was before. It's not taking a break. It's firing all the time. Also, when you're in pain, what does it do? It's just firing all the time, and it's not calming down because you're in pain. And so what this fascial release does is they pinpoint different areas, and they're going to push super hard, extremely painful, extremely. Like I want to come off, I'm crying sometimes. I want to come off the table, and it's 90 minutes worth every single time of pure torture. So, I would only do this if it's really working. I've already been through 5 different treatments. I have 8 more to go. What they do is they press really hard. So even though they're working in this area, it may release in another area. It's all interconnected. Let me just read this so that you guys can get more of a grasp on what exactly they say. That's more of a medical stance than what I'm trying to explain. It says, fascia is a thin casing of connective tissues that surround and hold every organ, blood vessel, bone, nerve fiber, and muscle in place. This tissue does more than just provide internal structure. Fascia has nerves that makes it as sensitive as skin. The more I focused on the body for healing and trauma, the healthier my physical body became. Years of talk therapy kept me in the same story loops and never got to the root cause for me. And that's so true for me as well. When I started studying somatic therapy in the nervous system is when the real healing started to take place for myself and for my clients. First and foremost, is knowledge of the fascia, what it does and how it works and how it ties into the nervous system in the body. The intricate web of fascia, which makes up a significant part of our form, is that reason. Fascia is a connective tissue surrounding the muscles, organs, a protective mechanism. And this was the description of the treatments. Myofascial release, MFR, a specific therapy performed without oils or creams, which is used most helpful for chronic issues, trauma, and restrictions held within the body. The hands-on treatment involves applying sustained pressure and stretches along the body, allowing a more effective release of the fascia, muscles, and connective tissue, and increased mobility, flexibility, and postural awareness. When the body falls out of balance through injury, stress, illness, and trauma, the fascia system reacts by tensioning, and it shortens to protect the injured areas of the body. And what he explained, it's 2,000 psi. That's the pressure, which makes sense because that's what my body feels like and the pain. And that's the equivalent to a car sitting on top of your body. Yeah, think about that. Each movement reinforces the protective reaction. So as you move, it just grips. Each movement reinforces and protects reaction until another area of the body compensates for that imbalance. When left unattended, that's how he can treat in one area and another area be released, because this area up here was overcompensating for the area where they're treating. When left unattended, the body structure can further deteriorate, potentially leading to chronic illness, depression, or disease. Only recently, the fascia was viewed live under microscopic footage by Jean-Claude, I don't know the last name, can't say it, French name. It shows the fascia to be highly hydrated and consistently moving. So it should be hydrated and consistently moving. It appears translucent, gel, and web-like. Previous medical explorations have been only done on cadavers, where the fascia was stripped and tossed away to view the rest of the body, dismissing what now they understand to be a crucial part of the health system. Uses sustained pressure, stretches, and movements to allow the fascia system to activate and move more freely, creating space in and around the restrictions of the body. This allows blood flow, hydration to these much injured sites so that the long-term healing can bring back balance to the body. In my 5 treatments, my body would be like this, super, just like this. This is my bone. This is how it would feel like whenever you would push on it. It would just be super rock hard, no give, no nothing, even though it's in an area that should be very movable, like in my legs, my upper legs, my thighs, it would just be rock hard. Now it's like gushy. It can move. And this has changed my life so much. I'm not pain-free by any means, but the level of the pain has reduced and the mobility is definitely increased. I was Marco Poloing a good friend of mine, and I was bawling my eyes out because it was the first time in I don't know how long I sat on the backs of my legs, like how you get on your knees and then you sit all the way back down onto your calves of your legs. I could do that. I could sit on the calves of my legs when I was on my knees in my closet, and I don't even know how long that's been because my legs were so solid, they would not bend. Around the knee wouldn't bend, the legs wouldn't bend. I had lost that mobility, and it was the fascia. So now my legs can move. They're not rock hard. I'm getting mobility back. When I sit on the back of a chair, it does not cut my circulation off like it used to. It can if I sit in a hard enough chair for long enough, but not like it used to. And it doesn't cause extreme pain like it used to, where I would only be able to sit high school bleachers. I could only sit on those for about 15 minutes before I had to stand up because I was in so much extreme pain. I sat through an entire choir concert that was over an hour long without having to stand up. Was I in pain? Yes, I was in pain, but not excruciating where I had to stand up. So the pain has lessened. Just having that much relief with pain, if you live day in, day out with no relief, and you can get that much relief is worth it. I do feel ill sometimes with the flu. When toxins are being released into your body, you will feel sick, you will have muscle aches, and you'll feel like you have the flu, like a really bad flu. So it's not fun, but I'm looking long-term, guys. I'm looking long-term. Okay, so what we're hoping for also is that as this fascia is released and it's more movable, that maybe more nutrients and more fluid is getting to those areas that need to get to, that may help with those tumors. It may not make my tumors go away, But if it just makes my life more mobile and less pain, it is worth it 100%. But who knows? Once the tumors are loose, which I can feel them now, like more so than ever, since my skin and my flesh is malleable, I can feel big clumps of tumors in there. So it's definitely kind of crazy being able to feel all the tumors that are in there. But my hopes is as those nutrients get in there, the body is wonderful. It can heal itself. So I am hoping that maybe the body can just start to reverse some of that. But if not, it's still worth it because of all the good improvements that I've seen so far. And since we've been able to get this fascia more broken up, my lymphatics are doing better. I'm not swelling as much. And so that is great because that takes a layer of pain down a notch. It also allows more mobility. Been amazing. So it's just exciting. I had to share this with you guys because it's not just for me. It's for anybody that may be dealing with chronic pain, and that there are people around that do this, and there are people being taught, and it is online, and I will link everything down in the description box. If you guys have any questions whatsoever that I am able to answer for you, please feel free to ask them, and I will answer if I know the answer or get you to somewhere where maybe there is an answer. So just let me know in the comments if there's any questions at all. And yeah, I will also link more about Dercum's disease and lipedema down in the description box as well if you're needing to check that out, just in case you've stumbled across this video and you're like, what is that? And I need to know more because there's a lot of people out there on health journeys trying to figure out what's going on in their bodies, or they may have a loved one or a friend or family that is going through something that they're researching. So feel free to check out those videos as well. So I hope you guys enjoyed this, and until the next time, I hope glitter catches your eye but never goes in it. Take care. Bye-bye.